Hey guys, it's Shauna, and I know y'all haven't seen me in a long time, but this time I'm here to stay. So I took a little hiatus from YouTube just because I was going through school. It was super overwhelming, especially with the move to a new country and everything. It was very, very, very overwhelming, and I wanted to focus on school, but also still kind of deliver content. So I really was consistent in TikTok and on Instagram, but not so much on YouTube just because editing does take so much longer. So I have finally established a schedule. I have been able to manage my time a lot better. So for that reason, I'm getting back into YouTube. So that's why I'm here to stay. So because Valentine's Day is just around the corner, I thought I would do a Valentine's Day look. I posted this question on my story asking what you guys would want to see. And a beautiful friend of mine suggested a Valentine's Day look, and I loved the idea. So here I am. This is the look that we're going for. It's a very girly, very elegant, very Valentine's Day look. Like, it's just giving Valentine's Day, and I love it. One thing I love about this look is that you can make it so much more subtle, and you can make it so much more dramatic if you like. Like, it is so versatile. You can make it however you like to your liking, and I explain how to do that throughout this video. So if you want to find out how I do this and how to dress it up or dress it down, keep watching. As you can see, we're dealing with two problems. I'm gonna name them Patrice and Catrice because, like, she decided to pop out of nowhere. Like, I don't know what her issue is. And my decided to burn myself with a curling wand at 355 degrees, like, a month ago. So she's healing, but it's gonna take some time. This is a good video if you need to know how to cover up a blemish or a spot that you don't like. I have already moisturized my skin. I am going to use the Laneige sleeping mask. If you have a lip mask that has sat for like an hour, 45 minutes prior to you putting on some lip products, it would really help your application. So now I'm going to go in with primer. I'm kind of using two primers today. I am using the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. This is to just kind of like seep into my pores a little bit. So I don't put this all over my entire face. I just put it like kind of there, and I am going to put it over my blemish because I'm trying to minimize texture. So what I do is I rub it in, and like I kind of warm up the product with my fingers, but I don't like really push the product into my skin yet. So it's just kind of like on the surface, and then when I kind of see it like disappearing, I'm just gonna tap it in. I don't know, I find that this works best for me. I've always done it like this, and no complaints. I have seen so many influencers and so many people on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, whatever, saying that, you know, you can use this blurring primer, this like pore diffusing primer, and like you'll have no texture. Not true. Makeup is like, it's like painting a canvas. If you have a bump on the canvas, no matter how much paint you put on it, you're still gonna see it, right? You can minimize it, yes, but like if you have blemishes that are like raised and they're protruding from your skin, you're gonna be able to see it through your makeup. So I'm focused more on hiding the pigment of it as opposed to the texture. Like, literally, this is the one thing I hate about the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter is like, where is all the lettering? Like, where did it go? Now it just looks like a bottle. This is like significantly darker than my skin tone. I'm really not trying to do like a super heavy base, but the thing with this look is that, like, if you're trying to recreate it, you can use whatever complexion products you like. This is what I like for my skin. If you have a favorite foundation that you love, go for it. Anyways, like, it just gives my skin this beautiful glow. I am going to color correct. I have a bit of hyperpigmentation around my upper lip, under my eyes. So I like to go in with this MAC color correcting palette. There is a yellow and orange shade at the bottom that I'm gonna mix because the orange is a bit too dark for me. But when I mix with the yellow, it's like the perfect shade. And I just dab it. One common mistake made with color corrector is that people believe that you should be able to see the color corrector. So yes, I am applying orange on my face, but the point of a color corrector is to neutralize that pigment that's underneath, that hyperpigmentation. Like, look at the difference. Like, it's bright, it's neutralized, compared to this. Having that orange show up through your concealer is just an absolute nightmare. Also, personally for me, like, under my eyes especially, I like to use as little product as I can just because I am prone to creasing. So reducing the amount of product I have under my eyes is just like optimal. So now that I've done the color correcting, I am going to cover this up. And I have a very interesting way of covering it because, like, ever since I've got it, I've tried to find kind of, like, a way to cover it. So I've used, like, a green color corrector, and, like, according to the color wheel, it should work. But I don't know, for me, it just doesn't. This is another one of my personal palettes. This is from MAC. I just go straight in with the foundation. I like to use, like, these two. And I just mix it up on this brush that I have been using for my face so far. And then just brush it over my face. I love to work in thin layers because it gives definitely a more seamless blend. Because of how light it is, I am going to be able to see it to a certain degree, but I just like to minimize how much I can see. And I'm going to go in with a beauty blender and just lightly blend everything into my skin. The key to covering up spots like the one I just covered up is I always blend around and kind of diffuse it. So now I am going to go in with brows. So I haven't gotten my eyebrows threaded in a bit because I like to get them threaded and then grow them out for a bit. Because I'm traveling so much, I always have different people doing my eyebrows, and like sometimes they don't do it in the shape that I like. And my eyebrows grow quick, so I just like to just grow it out, kind of start over. That's kind of what I'm doing right now. I like to just lightly brush it on like that. Get it in like every single crevice of my eyebrows, just like that. And like when it's looking crazy, that's exactly what you want. When you kind of see that like white pigment of the gel kind of start to disappear, that's when I like really brush it out into the shape that I want. Like that. Look at this. And then look at that. But yeah, as I was speaking about traveling earlier, it is, the day that I'm filming this, it is February 7th. I don't know when this video is going to go up, but hopefully soon. Guys, I feel like I just got back to Canada because I had school, because like my school's in Australia. I traveled around Australia for like 2 weeks, roughly. And after that, like, I got back to Canada. So by the time I got back here, and like with the time difference and everything, it was December 6th. Now it's February 7th. It's been like officially more than 2 months, and I feel like I've been home for like 3 weeks. Don't get me wrong, like Australia's great, but like, you know, like home just hits different. I literally have to go back on the 19th, which is in like 12 days. And like, that's why my room is so empty. Like literally, like, I'm already packing. But like, I kind of wanted to like vlog my trip, like back to Australia from Toronto. So if you guys want to see that, like, let me know. Okay, brows are done, brows are slayed, and now we can move on. And I go in with the Born This Way multi-use sculpting concealer. Guys, ever since this concealer came out, it has had a chokehold on me. So what I like to do is I like to just take my brush, grab some product from the applicator, and just carve up my brows. I like it until it's close to my shade. So then I like to take the applicator and just apply a little bit on my eyelids, like that, because we are going to get ready for eyeshadow. So taking the beauty blender, lightly dabbing it, so it's a very like seamless blend, just like that. Thankfully this concealer doesn't oxidize. That's why I like to still use it, especially under like eyeshadow and stuff. I would never ever stray from it. I would be 90 years old, I'd be walking on the red carpet, and I would still be wearing this concealer. I would be holding this concealer instead of holding my man. I'd be holding this concealer instead of holding a purse. Like, that's how good it is. That's how good it is. Now it's nice and blended. We are going to set. I am going to go in with 3 palettes. 3. Okay? The first one being this Morphe palette. When I took it to New York with me, where I also got this burn, it shattered. But it's like a good palette. It's just like not very travel friendly because it's massive, and like the encasing on it is very fragile. We're gonna go in with her. I have a really funny story about this palette, actually. Not this palette, like makeup in general, when I was going to New York. These are the shades I'm gonna work with. I'm just gonna say off the bat right now because I'm gonna forget as I'm talking. So I'm gonna start with this shade, and then we're gonna move on to this shade, and then we're gonna move on to that shade. We're going for a very romantic, elegant pink look. So I don't want to focus too much on the browns, but we do need some browns to just give us that shadow. I was flying to New York from Toronto, okay? We were going through security, and I didn't have like a check bag because we were only going for a couple days. I just needed my carry-on, and I didn't have a check bag, So I had all of my makeup like in my carry-on, right? Obviously under 100 mils. And the security officer was just like, yeah, I'm gonna need you to take out everything and put it into these little bags. I don't know if all my makeup's gonna fit because I had a lot. You know, I was like creating content stuff too. So I was like, I don't know if like all that's gonna fit. And like I was traveling with my sisters, my brother, and like my sister's boyfriend. So they were all like, oh, like you can just like share it. Like you can put all the products together and use all the bags. So each person got a bag. And I was like, oh, okay, lovely. And then he's like, wait, like how much makeup do you have? And then I was like, oh, and I opened up like my makeup like bag. And he looks at it and he's just like, what the fuck? Like, why do you have that much makeup? And I'm like, excuse me, sir. I was like, oh, I'm a makeup artist. He's like, yeah, but still. I'm like, what do you mean still? Like, what do you mean still? Like, what was the need for that? What was the need for that? I am gonna leave my lid relatively free. I'm working more on oh my god, I can't speak. Working more on deepening the shape of my eyelid and giving it that shadow like I mentioned. So I'm working my eyeshadow into like this line, this outer V, and then I'm gonna work it into my lid like that. So now I'm gonna go in with that pink shade from the Morphe palette that I mentioned, and I'm gonna do the same thing. This is the Huda Beauty Neon Green palette. There is this beautiful pink shade right there. I'm gonna pick it up on the brush, and I'm gonna go over my entire lid with it. I'm gonna move on to my other palette. It's this one I've had since like day one because it has not done me wrong. Like she's going through it, like she's looking rough. But anyways, I like to go in with this pink shade and this pink shade, kind of mix them together. And once again, putting that all over my lid. I think this is more of like a subtle cut crease. I'm not really into like actually doing cut creases anymore. But now I'm more into like a seamless kind of look. Okay, y'all, I've probably said seamless in this video like 16,000 times. Seamless. Anyways, I'm gonna put that in. And I always tell myself I'm gonna use like a flat brush for this, a flat brush for that, a round brush for this. And I end up using the same brush the whole look. But you know, this could be good for the girlies who have a brush that they love and don't want to stray from. This is for you. Now what I'm gonna do is create the smoked liner. Taking this little angled brush, I am going to create a wing. I like to take a small amount and just kind of trace it out. Once I have the shape that I want, then I'm going to go in with more product and just like pack it on. You only want to pack it down here. Like at the top of your eyeliner where you're going to smoke it out, you don't want there to be a lot of product there, especially if you're going for a subtle smoke liner, just because it's going to lift that black up and it's not going to give you that elegant girly look that we're trying to go for. I'm going to go in with this angled brush. It's an angled fluffy brush. I like to pick up that pink combo that I had from like this Huda Beauty palette on the brush, just like that. And you're just gonna blend that out. And then I take that fluffy brush that I was working with earlier and just blend everything out. Because I'm going for such a soft, like girly look, I don't want like super dark eyelashes, so Glamnetic gifted me these lashes. They're these brown lashes. And they are magnetic lashes. So I'm going in with the magnetic eyeliner that they also gifted me. It is a liquid eyeliner. I'm going to go in with this eyeliner. And then I'm going to apply the lashes. And we're going to finish the eyeshadow after that. I got eyeliner on my eyeshadow. Do y'all see that? Oh my god. I can't believe I did that. I'm going to take the spoolie, just transfer that one. And then I'm going to go over it with the pink. Yeah, all done. I'm going to apply some mascara. I'm using the Essence Lash Princess. I'm going to just grab my lashes and apply them. I'm going to use the Maybelline Lash Sensational Sky High Mascara and just try to blend these together a bit. Now for like the last step of this eye look, we're going to go in with the Fenty Beauty How Many Carats Diamond Bomb. If you know me at all, you know this is my absolute favorite. I go in with my fingers and look at that, like this gorgeous shimmer. So I am just gonna pop that on my eyelids. Moving on to like base. we're doing an underpainting technique, okay? So I'm gonna take this, it's a foundation stick, but I use it as like kind of like a contour stick from Basma Beauty. And I'm gonna pick up some product on the brush. And we're gonna contour before we apply any of our foundation. Okay. But already, you can see that difference in the contour. I like to bring it to my jaw as well. The tip here is to work in thin layers and then build it up. Like, a lot of people think that with underpainting you need to like kind of overcompensate for the foundation that's going to cover it, but I kind of do it a different way. So you can go in with the same amount of contour that you normally do. Just go in with a little bit. Go with your usual amount. Now I'm going to go in with my foundation, and I like to use the Estee Lauder Double Wear. I take the tiniest bit of this foundation, literally like that much, and I just, wherever I contoured, I go kind of like around it, and then wherever I have no product and I don't really think I'm gonna like highlight as much, I also go there, like around there. And then I take my brush and just blend it out. Now, I am going to go in with a little bit of the same concealer I was using for my brows to just help me combat some of the darkness under my eyes. For this, I like to use a beauty blender and really blend that out. I like to keep the product concentrated right here because this is where all the darkness is. I don't bring it out with the shade selectively. And like already that looks amazing, and I haven't even applied the highlighting shade yet. But I am going to use the Rare Beauty concealer because this also has a beautiful undertone and it does a great job at lightening and brightening. So I use this as my highlighting shade, and I go in to all the places I would have highlighted, like that. And I completely forgot, but I did not do my nose contour. Apply it. And like my technique has no technique, like it's messy. You just, it changes, this is what works, you know, this is what works for me. I like to, I don't need a ton of coverage, like around these areas. It's just purely for brightening, so that's why I don't really like need a full coverage concealer for here. I'm going to go into the nose contour, and I think that's given my concealer under my eyes enough time to sit, so it's gained some thickness and it has gained the ability to provide a bit more coverage. So now I'm going to blend that out, and I like to blend kind of on the side of my nose like that. Just bring the product like there and there. And then this goes right into the eyeliner. And all the way up. And then I blend it with the back of it, the back of the sponge, just because it has a bit more of the contour product on it, so it gives a better blend. Just like that. While I'm at it, I'm going to blend this out. I love this base. It's lightweight. So now that all that's done, I like to go in with the MAC Studio Fix foundation powder. I like to make sure I have no creases under my eyes from the concealer. And I like to just look up. And staying looking up, grab the brush, grab a little bit of product, dust that off, and with the lightest amount of product, just set under the eyes. This is a foundation powder, so it has a lot of coverage, which is why you just need the tiniest amount. And then I'm gonna go in with the Huda Beauty Easy Bake setting powder. I'm gonna grab my powder puff, which has been through it. Like I dropped, remember that black eyeshadow I was talking about like shattering? It like stained this. I've washed it like 500 times and it's just not coming off. But it doesn't get on my face, the black eyeshadow stuff. Whatever. Okay, I like to dip the powder puff right into the product. Just tap it on my hand so it's not too much and it's a smooth amount. And I like to just bake under my eyes. Same thing again. Look up and grab the other eye. Yep, we are going to let that sit for a little bit. Now I'm going to set and bring back some color and dimension to the rest of my face. So I'm going back in with the MAC Studio Fix again and just setting everywhere that I kind of added that brightening concealer. That's where I'm setting. Now I'm going in with my bronzer. Guys, this is the best bronzer I've ever used in my entire life, okay? It's the Revolution bronzer, Reloaded in the shade Long Weekend. It gives me the perfect, like, bronzy, like, sun-kissed look. So grab that and just, I always tap this part in because it is pigmented. So you want to just tap it in, you don't want too much bronzer. And then, you know, bronze your face up like you normally would. I just go in the exact same places I applied the contour stick for consistency. Bronze my forehead. I grab this brush when I'm contouring my nose. I go in with the same bronzer, and I just go over where I contoured earlier, just like that. And always bring up your nose contour into your inner eyelid like that, just for a more seamless blend. Now that that is looking good, at this point I like to bake right below my cheekbones. I don't like keeping it on for too long, which is why I do it after, but just go right there. Okay, I'm bringing out that tip. I'm sure you guys have seen this trend. It's like, they just bring it all the way up until here. It's like a cool toned pink. I have not been able to find that pink blush anywhere that works for my skin. The Dior Backstage does not work for brown skin. I don't care what you say. So I actually go in with this palette, this eyeshadow palette that I got from Revolution. It's the Alexis Stone palette. I go in with the absolute highest pink shade, and I just tap that in. Start in with a little bit, and then just increasingly add more. But always, always, always start with a little bit. As I'm applying this blush, I also start taking off the powder that I had under my eyes. This is what gives it such a seamless blend. And then, y'all, the pinker the better. It's Valentine's Day, okay? Add that pink. Add it. Add it. Add it. Now we're gonna do an under eye moment. Usually I do black, but because we're going in for such a soft look, we're not gonna go in with black. We are gonna go instead with a brown. I am gonna go in with the shade Cocoa from the same palette, Cocoa and Henna. And I'm just gonna grab that on my waterline. This is gonna give us that dimension that black usually gives us without being so harsh. Then I'm gonna go in with the two pinks that I mixed in the Huda Beauty palette earlier and just blend that out. Then I'm gonna grab mascara, the same mascara I used earlier. And apply the latest layer, just to bring back the color of my eyelashes. Now we're going in with one of my favorite steps, highlight. Going in with the Fenty Beauty Diamond Balm, of course. Like, of course. I'm gonna grab that with a nice fluffy brush, and I'm gonna tap it wherever I want to highlight. I don't drag this because it is like, it's a lot. So I like to tap it. On my nose though, I do drag it. Okay, now before I go in with like lips, I'm gonna set my face. I'm using the Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray by Charlotte Tilbury, which is literally almost done. So I like to spray it on my face. Let it dry down a little bit, and then blend that out with a sponge. Guys, you're literally almost done this look. So I like to go in with this lip liner. It is the MAC lip liner in the shade Cork. But I can't talk while I'm doing this, so I'm gonna do it and explain later. And then I go in with this MAC lipstick in the shade Honey Love. Also another one of my staples. It's a beautiful pink. Rimmel London sent me this and a bunch of other lip glosses. And by the way, any of the products that I talk about in this video, I have been sent a lot of them, but I am in no way obligated to talk about them and to promote them or anything. So everything I'm saying in this video is my absolute honest review. This is a really pretty gold shade, and it's plumping. So I got it all over my lips. If y'all are going in for a kiss, because this is Valentine's Day, apply this lip gloss before you leave the house and let it sit for a little bit. Let it do its thing, but also let it calm down. After you let it calm down, then you can apply another clear lip gloss. I like to use the Fenty Gloss Bomb. That one's a good one because, like, you don't want to hurt them. You just don't want to hurt them. But yeah, that brings me to the end of my video. Thank you so much for watching. I loved doing this tutorial. So if you ever want to see anything like this again, please comment down below what you would want to see. I am absolutely here to be consistent this time with YouTube. So don't forget to comment down below what ideas you have for content that I can create. And I'll be more consistent. Once I have a posting schedule, I will let you guys know on my Instagram story. But for now, follow me on my Instagram at shanas.touch. my TikTok at s.mohan, and of course, subscribe.